Hi, this is a short tutorial for the online carpenter upgrading program. Before we get started, it's probably a good idea if you open up another browser window and follow along. You can pause this at any time. It might be a little easier than trying to remember everything. The first step is open the browser window. Make sure it's not Internet Explorer. There's an issue between Internet Explorer and our servers at Saskatchewan Polytechnic. So Firefox or any one of those other ones is good. I use Firefox quite often. Or I use Norton Safe Search because I use Norton protection. First step is to type in my SAS Polytech and enter. And click on the My SAS Polytech. This particular SAS Polytech is general information area. So we'll click on there. And the username and password that was sent to you, enter it now and log in. Now I'll log in under the students side. And once you're logged in, click on My Courses. And these are all the courses I'm responsible for. I'm just going to change Windows. And this home page will show up. Um, the only course you have access to is the course you're currently registered for. This is the welcome page. I'm not going to read to you guys. You just, when you're working through this, take your time, pause it, and do your own reading. It's really important that you just learn to be comfortable for the few times operating and finding things and reading the information also. Um, So as it says here, begin with the program information section and then continue on. The first block you must do is the occupational skills. Let's have a look at content. And because I was practicing, this is what should open up for you. So there's introduction, navigation, communication, etc. This compact disc is not required. It used to be, and for some reason it didn't get taken out yet. There's program website and student support. The only thing we need to have a quick look at is in navigation here. When you're ready to go, click on this system check, and all of these items should have a green check mark. If any of them are not green and they're red, you need to contact the help desk, and that help desk number, I sent that to you already. We're just going to back out of there. We're going to go back to content. Now, the online upgrader program is all of our apprenticeship material organized to match the National Occupational Analysis for our trade. And it's divided into what's called blocks. You will start with the occupational skills block. So let's just click onto that. And you're going to see that we have trades math, print reading, site layout, building science, building materials, tools and equipment, scaffold, and safety. You can do these in any order that you wish. I've arranged them in this manner because I find it might have been easier to do. So if we just click on trades math, and there'll be an introduction, and it's just a quick overview. I'm doing it this way just to give you an idea because how to navigate, because over here we can go to the previous screen or we can go on to the next screen. So let's go to the next screen. So the trade math is basically what our apprentices do. Um, every single course in Saskatchewan Polytechnic is developed by creating the course first. So in this case, trade math, and then it's organized by learning outcome. So learning outcome is like a large chapter in a textbook, like framing, and then it would be divided up into, in the subtext below it. just before we move on, so this is Learning Outcome 1. There's a little notification here about the calculator that we recommend that you buy. They're, I don't know, 13, 14 bucks at Walmart. Um, but the reason we're suggesting this is that when you go to write your interprovincial journeyman's exam, the only thing you can take in there is your photo ID. They give you everything else that would be required to write the exam, including this particular calculator. Every apprentice in every trade across Canada uses this same calculator. Now, regarding the course, when you're ready to start, you would open up your first course, which in this case was trades math. And what you're looking for is basic information like you're seeing here, but you're also looking to access your course manual and the course manual answer key. So in this case, we'll just click on the course manual and your course manual comes up. And as you can see, there's one learning outcome here. And so you can download that. You can do whatever you want with the course manuals. Just remember that they're in PDF form, so you can copy and paste. However, um, you can't copy the whole manual, but you can do a save as, meaning that prior to opening it up, you can right click on it and save link as, and you can save it as a document, and you can save it to your desktop or whatever. But anyway, and the course manual answer key in the same manner. Now, what you're looking for inside of each learning outcome of each course are the learning steps. So learning step 1 in this particular course is perform basic calculator operations. Now, I'm directing you to not worry about it unless you have trouble using that particular calculator. You shouldn't have any trouble. Just use it as a basic calculator. It's a scientific calculator, so there's all kinds of weird stuff on there. Just get used to using it so you're not worried about making an error when you go to write your IP. So learning step 1 is basically refer to it if you need to. Learning step 2 is calculating fractions and decimals. There's my directions to you are do everything. You'll see that there's an instruction sheet, a review exercise, and I'm saying do all the questions. If you're good at math, it won't be a big deal. If you haven't done basic math for a long time, it's probably a good idea to do them all. But you must remember to always come online and get my directions as you progress through all 5 blocks. There are going to be times where I'm going to suggest only do questions 1 to 5, 17, and 23. Remember, you have all the information the apprentices get, but it was my job to design the course to help you prepare for a successful challenge on the IP. Keeping in mind that the IP exams are applied knowledge questions, meaning they assume that you have a basic understanding of a certain area, but here's a situation, how do you solve this situation? So you'd work your way through in the course manual for each learning step. And you'll see it ends up down at the bottom with board measure. Now we'll advance to the next page. This is being taken out. You don't have to worry about this. Let's go back to, now, sorry, let's talk about this. Whenever you're navigating and you feel that you're getting lost, just look up here. You'll notice that we started the table of contents, we opened up the blocks, we opened up occupational skills, we opened up the trades math, and we're presently looking at this defunct learning step, or sorry, learning outcome. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to occupational skills. So you'd work your way through the trades math, then you would work your way through each of these courses here. These are all the print reading courses. So we'll just open up BPRT 100. And we're going to start, I believe it's here. It is. So right at the very beginning is where you're going to find your course manual and your course manual answer key. Now we're just going to go back. notice that there's 3 learning outcomes for this one. So the first learning outcome is use basic residential prints. And again, you're going to scroll down. And here's my directions to you. Again, this particular course, I'm going to say do all the questions. If too often on a lot, especially large job sites, if that's your basic, your most experienced area, you don't really get to work with prints much. You'll get told, a sketch, or, you'll have a quick overview of the print. So what we're going to do is ask you to do everything. Now, if you're comfortable with the prints, again, it's not going to be a big deal. If you find that you're struggling with it, then that's why you need to do every question. Now, something a little different here is under the media column, there's going to be videos every once in a while, depending on the course. So we just click on that for a second. Just a second here. I had to pull that down. There's a little play button. So again, there's little videos in here to help you better understand or something. You can use them as a review also, prior to challenging a quiz, and we'll get on to the block exam later. So this particular one here, this is for information only. There's no review exercise. Whatever you need to understand about scaling will be covered in one of the other learning steps. Then you'd work your way through each of the learning steps. And when you come to learning step 7, interpret residential blueprints, you're going to see your print to practice with. And now if you right click on it, you can save the link as, and save that to your desktop, or you can print it off. This particular print will work in an 8.5 by 14. It's pretty small paper if you try to do 8.5 by 11. But we'll just click on it, left click. Takes a minute for it to load. And this is a print. This is a teaching print, it's not an actual house plan. Myself and an architectural instructor kind of went through it as a basic print, but it's a good teaching print. You'll use it in BPRT 100, 200, and 300. And just scroll through. It has concrete foundation and PWF foundation. Plus it has 3 different floor systems in it. It has conventional or dimensional lumber. It has wood trusses, and it has wood I-joists. And it goes all the way through to the garage. There's a 3-car garage with this. Again, it's just a teaching print. If you decide to build it, let me know and I'll come take video. So you've completed that particular one. We just move on to the next one. And this is interpret building codes. Now remember, this is all in your manual. This is information for you to help you navigate through both the online part of the course as well as directions for working in the manual. Again, pay attention to the media. Those of you that aren't real experienced with the building code or using the National Building Code of Canada, there's a quick video. I'll just click on that for a sec. And we'll hit play. So now if you need more help with using the National Building Code, you need to understand that between 20 and 30% of your interprovincial journeyman's exam requires the knowledge of how to search for the proper code. If you need extra help, you just let me know. I'm available. We can even meet in person. I've done that quite often. So you'd work your way through all 3 of these. You'll notice there's no review exercise for these 2 steps. It's just read through it, make sure you understand the basics around it. We're moving on to learning step 3, and it's quantity survey for a concrete foundation. Again, you have the rising sun already saved somewhere. If you've lost it, there's another opportunity to bring it up. And you're going to take off only these items. So you just pay attention to your course manual and you make sure you only take off these particular items. Anything else, we don't need you to worry about for this BPRT program. Sorry, course. Now we're just going to go back to content again. And again, you'd work your way through 200, 300, 400. We teach print reading in all four levels. So print reading in level 1 is mostly foundations, excavations, etc., reinforcing. BPRT 200 is all of your framing and exterior finish, windows, doors, roofing, etc. BPRT 401, that's your level 4, or sorry, BPRT 300 is all interior finish and light commercial print reading. The BPRT 400 is everything that we missed. So for example, some industrial um, study. There'll be I'll just show you what I mean. Let's just have a quick look at that. I'll just show you. You'll notice that in Learning Outcome 1 for this particular course manual is not, you don't need to worry about it. It's already been covered. Or sorry, everything that you need to know is being covered. The quantity survey, however, is calculating concrete quantities for stairs and beams and slabs. So this is where the heavy commercial and industrial part of your training comes in, is in this location. And it's just easier to go back to content, or sorry, occupational skills. So you'd work your way through there. At the end of this, there's a self-check quiz. Let's have a quick look at that. By the way, I'll be notifying you every once in a while as I create more self-check quiz questions. I'll be installing them in here. Um, so anyway, there's a self-check quiz. You go through, answer all the questions. And I'm just going to scroll to the end. Here's where you can print it off if you wish, or you can download it. You can do whatever you want. Once you're done that, oh, there was an answer key for that too, by the way. Then it goes on to site layout, and basically that's transits, builders levels, excavation safety, um, all of that area. Um, the type of questions are, well, you'll see when you go in and follow my lesson plans. For example, use a transit. You'll see that what they're looking for as far as the interprovincial journeyman's exam is concerned is an understanding of what you're looking at. For example, the transit, how to properly carry it across a job site, how to properly level it, and can you read the Vernier scale? Do you know whether you're reading left or right? How many degrees, minutes, and seconds? Although normally we don't work in seconds. These two learning steps here, there's nothing for you to do. Don't even be worried about that. Let's go back to occupational skills. And you'll work your way through, all the way to the end of safety awareness. We should have a quick look at tools and equipment. We'll click on the first learning outcome, use hand tools. Again, there's a course manual answer key, but you'll notice there's no directions for you. If you're unsure of any of these tools, then by all means go back into the manual but these are pretty basic things. For example, using measuring tools. You didn't get this far in your trade if you didn't know how to read a tape measure or use a square. But if you need to review something, by all means, prevents you from doing that. And we'll go back to tools and equipment. Powder actuated tools. So here's an instance where I'm saying in the review exercise for powder actuated fastening tools, do question 1, 8 and 9, 13, 37, 39, and 40. And number 2 learning step here, there's no review questions for this section. So as you work your way through the course, you'll start to see that where I ask you to do all the questions, that's an area that you're likely to be tested on the IP. It's also an area, with my experience, has been that many of tradespeople are weaker at. So they need to be upgraded. Not because they're weak because of that, but because that's not generally done in certain areas of the trade. For example, if you're in residential and for the last 5 years all you've been doing is exterior finish, then maybe you better spend a bit more time on how to build stairs or install balustrades, etc. Back to the occupational skills. Now I'm going through this pretty quick. I want you to take your time, make sure you read all the information before you just go barging into the course. You need to be very comfortable moving around in this thing. When you're done, safety awareness, you need to contact me and let me know, because what happens now is you do your first block exam. So a block exam is matching, remember, the National Occupational Analysis. So each of the blocks has an exams, and that's what your courses, that's what your marks are going to be based on, is those 5 blocks. Not the work you've done in here. I don't mark anything that's in here. I guide you through it. You have questions, you call me or email me or text message me or whatever. Um, but what you need to do now is you'll contact one of the 4 Saskatchewan Polytechnic campuses. You just phone the main number and you ask for the test center. You find out what hours they're available, and then you arrange a time that's convenient for you. I'll send out the exam to you. You'll show up at the proper time with your photo ID, your code book, your scratch paper, pencil, and calculator. You'll write the exam. I'll have sent it out to them. When they're done, when you're done the exam, what they do is they scan the answer sheet, email it back to me, and then shred yours, the original and the exam. I mark the exam as quickly as I can. And then what I do is I reply to your request to write the exam, giving you your mark, but also an attachment. Make sure there's an attachment there, and it's all the questions that were incorrect. I'm not going to mark them again. What your job is, you already guessed at them and you got them wrong. What you do is you open up the attachment and question by question, we'll go research and find the right answer. And each of the blocks will be the same way. So once you're finished occupational skills, these particular blocks you can go through in any order you want. You can, I've listed them because this is the way you would probably build a house. In the test preparation area, I'll just quickly show you that. There's all kinds of things just for helping you, excuse me, prepare to write an exam. There's also, just click on that, a review and a review answer key. So I'll be adding to this year also. So what it's did here is just downloaded. I'm just going to bring it up. And it's just a whole whack of questions. You're going to, oh, I think we should just view this properly here. And enable editing. So it's just what it's called, a review exercise. You're going to access this when you've done your 5th block exam. You're going to access this, and that gives you a chance to keep working within the program while you're waiting to be called for a sitting to write the EIP. Well, use anymore. It's a Word document, so you can, put your answer in. You won't be able to, well, I suppose you could try and do a save as, but you can type your answers in here if you wanted, or you can print them off or whatever. Minimize it. That's the minimize button. And then you could open up the answer key and do a split screen, and you can see your answer and the answer in the answer key. Back out of there. So that's a quick overview of the program. You need any more information from me, please, you have a letter that gives you my hours and my contact information, my email address, and my cell phone. I use my cell phone exclusively for these courses. You can text me, call me, email me. I get my emails on there as well. Um, I'm available pretty much any time. Um, but if I'm busy, for example, if I'm on campus working, I may not get back to you for a while. But I eventually do get back to you. So if you have any questions, give me a shout. Again, when you're working your way through this, take your time, get comfortable with all the information and know how to navigate. And I trust me, by the end of the course, you'll be really comfortable. Okay.